Your core is involved in every little thing that you do on the court. Whether it's dinking, it's hitting an overhead, turning and running for a lob, hitting this back flipper. Everything that you do, your core is involved in. Pickleball is a core-based sport, right? You gotta have a strong core. You need to be able to have a strong rotational core. You have to be mobile within it. The problem is, not many people do enough core work. They don't train their core properly, right? They're not training every ab wall. They're not training anti-flexion, anti-extension. They're not training flexion. They're not training rotational core patterns. So you need to do it. You need to do more of it. So I'm gonna give you more of it. I'm gonna give you 12 of the best core exercises for pickleball. They're not the only 12 you need to do. I got 50 other ones that are great for pickleball, but these are my 12 favorites. These exercises are in no specific order, but this is gonna be a standing rotational chop. I have a very light band here. I have it up high, right over my head, kind of in this 45-degree angle of pull. I'm gonna grab with my pinkies down, right? Not like this way, pinkies on the down part of the band. All I'm gonna do is I'm in this standing position, knees bent, athletic position. I'm gonna pull here to my chest and I'm gonna rotate. My lower body isn't moving, as you see. Rotate down and punch through. So you see my torso goes from here, here, and through. So I'm going like this. Exhaling on the way down. I'll do about 8 each side here. This is a rotational core exercise. Now in a very similar stance, this angle pull is gonna be in a 45-degree, pulling me down. I'm gonna pull the band up, but I'm not gonna rotate anything besides my arms. My lower body, my upper body stays still. Only thing that is gonna be pulling is my arms. So this is an anti-rotational exercise. This is called a standing lift. Band, you can use a cable as well. I'm here, I'm keeping my arms locked out, and I'm gonna exhale, pulling the band up with my core. This is an anti-rotation. I'm resisting the rotation of it, pulling me down and through. Typically, I like to pull up, exhale, and then go down slow. I'll typically do 8 to 10, 8 to 12 reps each side on this exercise as well. This is another fun rotational based exercise. I'm in a landmine, so this bar is in a little landmine. You can do this by sticking a barbell just in a corner somewhere. It works just fine. All I'm gonna do, standing position, knees slightly bent, core is engaged here. I'm gonna reach up and over my head. Just got my hands firmly on the bar. They don't have to be holding like this. I'm gonna try and keep my arms locked as best as possible. So if I'm going this way, this left arm has to bend a little bit. Pull it to my pocket and then forcefully punch it up to the center. And then I'll go to the other side. This is another anti-rotational exercise because my torso isn't moving, right? My arms are doing the movement where my torso is staying stagnant and bracing the entire time. This next exercise is gonna be a pal-off press with rotation. As you can see, these first 4 exercises have involved some kind of rotation, whether it's actual rotation of the torso or anti-rotation. Either way, you're training for rotation. You're training your rotational core to be strong and to be able to powerfully put balls away or be able to brace and get into these positions that you have to on the court. So this one, pal-off press. I'm in a standing position. I'm gonna do this press. I need to angle myself better. Standing position, I'm gonna do a press. I'll exhale on the press. Then I'll add the rotation at the end. You see my arms are pretty much still staying locked and the rotation isn't driving from me rotating my hips or anything. I'm punching my arms there, moving them with my core. Another great way to train your core is doing carries. Not many people will think of carries as core training. I'm still holding this right now. I'm gonna walk to that mango tree. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna stay in this great posture, up tall. I'm gonna keep the weight off of my side. I'm gonna switch it as I go down and I'm gonna do it back and forth. I'm gonna work on this side ab wall. See, nothing really changes in my torso. I should look like just a normal human being walking, heel toe. Nothing's changing, right? If I was to slouch like this, I'm not getting anything out of it. But here, I'm bracing, not collapsing that lateral ab. Still doing another carry variation. We're gonna do this little crisscross pattern. So I'm gonna have one heavier dumbbell, heavier weight, heavier kettlebell in one hand. So I'm using 63 pounds. And then I'm gonna take a lighter kettlebell and I'm gonna take it overhead. I'm gonna be actively pressing as I walk overhead. So now, right, during carry variations, I'm getting a lot of forearm work, but I'm getting core work, I'm getting shoulder work, and now I'm working in this like lateral pattern in this abdominal sling. Not dangling and letting the shoulder and elbow bend, pressing it up. We've done 6 exercises so far, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you probably haven't done at least 5 of them, right? You might have done some carry variations, but maybe you didn't even see them as core exercises. So I'm gonna continue to give you 6 more, but I think you should really try these. These are gonna crush you. They're not as boring as just doing crunches, like you're gonna have fun with this one. So this one is gonna be a Copenhagen side plank. So not your everyday side plank variation. I'm gonna put this ankle on this pad. You can do this on a bench, just a normal bench that you have in a gym. I have this little nifty machine, so I'll do it here. I'm gonna do a side plank pretty much with this elevated. So this is gonna work my adductor. I'm just gonna kind of work this adductor because I'm gonna lift this one off the ground as well. I'll hold this for at least 20 seconds, but nothing changes, right? This glute's gotta be squeezed. This ab wall's gotta be pressing up to hold it. I don't wanna rotate this way, that's cheating. I don't wanna rotate this way, that's cheating. Stay facing towards the camera. This is a great advanced side plank exercise that gets your lower body involved a little bit. All right, we're now gonna do a reverse crunch. I'll do this on a bench a lot of times. Other ways to do it is on the ground. Instead of holding the bench, you just put like a kettlebell behind your head and you hold that. What will make it harder is using a lighter kettlebell, right? So if I'm using a 18 pound, 30 pound, 25 pound, 24 pound kettlebell, that's a lot harder because I'm holding on to the kettlebell for balance and control. Obviously using a bench, you have to gauge it, right? If I'm gonna hold on super tight, it's gonna be semi-easy. But if I hold on lightly, it'll be a little bit more difficult. So this is a reverse crunch. I'm gonna start with my knees bent at 90 degrees. My goal is to just lift these hips up and around so that my knees come and touch my elbows, and then I'll go down super slow. I like to hold on with 2 fingers so that I can't hold on too tightly. So there are other ways to advance this. You can put a med ball in between your legs. You can hold like a foam roller in between your legs, makes it a little bit more difficult, as well as holding like a light kettlebell doing this on the ground. This next exercise is a bear crawl. I'm gonna be in a bear position to start, all fours position. All I will do is lift my knees up 1 inch off the ground, and then I'm gonna walk baby steps with opposites. So all fours position, lift up, baby steps. I'm not moving my hips and torso. I should be able to balance something, an object, on my back. Okay, bear crawls. There's other variations we can do. Added bonus, lateral bear crawls. That's another variation of a bear crawl. Now we're gonna do a prone bridge with pull through. So I have a light kettlebell, 18 pound kettlebell. You can use a plate, you can use a 5 pound plate, 2.5 pound plate, 5 pound dumbbell, some kind of weight to pull through. Obviously a heavier kettlebell is gonna be a little bit more difficult. I'm gonna be in a prone bridge position with the weight just under my elbow. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this position. I'm gonna pull this weight without rotating, right? Without rotating my hips, keeping my glute squeezed, pull this to this side, come down, and then pull with my other arm. This is a great exercise that I'll do 6 to 8 reps each side. I'm struggling, right? My hips want to dive forward, but I'm doing everything I can to keep them in a straight parallel position. To make it a little bit easier, if it's tough, widen out your feet. If it's a little bit easy, go pretty narrow with your feet. We're now gonna do a banded dead bug. Now we're gonna work on keeping the pelvis, the ribs, and everything, your torso, in a proper position as your distal joints, your legs move farther apart and farther away from your center of mass. So I got a 1 inch thick band. You can use a little bit smaller if you need. Let's pop this hat around. All I'm gonna do is I have this band right in front of my face. I'm gonna grab up on the band so that I can pull some tension in front of my face. This actually locks in my core really well. So I'm gonna pull this. It's gonna pull my ribs and my pelvis in a good position because it's creating tension for me. I don't have to create that tension myself. So this is gonna create some tension for me as I pull and get resistance here. I'll keep this here, and then I'm gonna lower one leg at a time. Tap my heel on the ground every rep. My goal here is to keep my lower back flat on the ground the entire time. I don't wanna arch here. I gotta keep this back flat, my pelvis in this good position here as I go down with my legs. If I have a weaker core, if I start to struggle, you'll see my back will start to arch and my pelvis is dumping forward. I wanna keep it in a neutral position. You will hear me exhale as I do a lot of exercises. Your rib cage moves on exhalation. So as I exhale during that exercise, my rib cage is going from this expanded position to a downward internally rotated position. It's a better position, right? If I'm in this position, it's promoting this extension pattern. But when I exhale, it's promoting good posture. All right, this last exercise number 12, another one of my favorites, obviously. I'm gonna have a med ball, light-ish. This is 6 pounds, you can use 6, you can use 10. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have one leg bent, flat on the ground, foot flat. This ball's directly overhead. I'm gonna reach with my shoulders and kind of crunch my core like this. I'm not flexing super hard at my neck. I'm gonna reach and press and protract those scaps. I'm gonna lift this leg up. I don't have much pressure on this foot. It's just there, right? I'm not driving that foot into the ground. Lifting this up this right foot up a couple inches off the ground, press and exhale. I'm doing this 4 exhalation reps. I'll do 5 reps. Doesn't look like a core exercise, right? It's actually a lot more sneaky difficult than you think. You saw my hands start to go forward. I would rather keep them directly over my head. I'm gonna switch sides and give you another view. Remember, this foot isn't pressing into the ground. This one's lifted up off the ground through 2 to 3 inches, pressing directly overhead, crunching and exhaling. This actually attacks my lower core more so than many other exercises. So remember, a lot of things are cued off of breath. Do forceful exhalations on this. Use a 6 to 10 pound med ball, crunch up, and you're gonna really feel it in your lower body. Give these 12 core exercises a try. Finagle them in your program, finagle them into your week. Try them all out at least once and let me know how they go. Get better at your agility exercises. Check out this link right here for my favorite agility exercises for pickleball.